Hey everyone. Good morning, Facebook. Good morning, Instagram. Good morning, YouTube. If this is your first time tuning in, definitely say hi in the comment. Let me know where you're tuning in from. If this is not your first time tuning in, still say hi. Let me know where you're tuning in from. Let me introduce myself. My name is Aisha Chidole. I'm an immigration attorney and I represent clients in all 50 states of the United States with their immigration matters. If you'd like to reach me, you can call 407 995 6567. You can also send a WhatsApp 404 333 8751. Okay. Hi, Fine Girl on Instagram from YouTube. Good morning, see it all. Good morning, Shaywon. Okay, so today I just want to talk about frequently asked questions. I'm just gonna go through some of the comments that I see coming through, or questions that I see coming through on my Facebook or DM, and just try to answer as many of those questions. Good morning, Obi. I'm so tired today. I don't know what is up with USCIS. I literally just came back from USCIS office. I've been scheduled like super early for interviews. We had an interview today, marriage-based case that went well. Okay, so let's see some of the questions. Feel free to ask me any questions that you have on immigration. I'm going to talk about some questions I have. So somebody asked me this question yesterday, whether there is a specific time when you can get married after entering the United States. So there's no specific time. Nobody has a rule of when you can or cannot get married when you enter into the United States. But as a rule of thumb, I always say that, before you submit a petition to USCIS, if you've just entered the United States, it's best that you wait 90 days post entry, because there's usually an assumption of misrepresentation if as soon as you enter the country you file for a green card, because normally they would ask you when you're entering into the country, what are you entering in for, you coming to visit and stuff like that, and then all of a sudden you're filing for a green card, and so they don't like that. So at least wait 90 days before you file for something. There's no real requirement or dateline as far as when you can marry somebody, but just keep those dates in mind. Another person who is petitioning for VAWA asked, after biometrics in a month, they asked me for 3 to 4 year letters of good moral character. Is that a good sign? I've never been arrested, or I don't have traffic violation. This question is for you, Caroline. This response is for you, Carolina, on Facebook. You asked me this question yesterday. So the answer basically is it's not a good sign. It's not a bad sign. What it essentially means is that what you submitted was not, you didn't have enough proof that you were a person of good moral character. And so they want proof, because when you submit a valid petition, you have to show that you're a person of good moral character in order for you to get it. So you probably didn't submit either like an FBI clearance report, or like a police clearance report, or sometimes you can also have like family members, like members of your church, your employer, also attest to your good character and that you're a good person. Sometimes they will even send it if you have a police clearance, if you've had any other kind of records in the past, and in those cases you want to send a letter from someone that you work with, like your employer or church or something like that. Okay, I saw some first timers here. Let me give you some shout out. On Instagram, Niak says, "Hi, it's my first time watching. I'm from Connecticut. My question is, would be if you're over 21, unmarried child of a U.S. citizen, mom, what forms should be filed?" So are you asking what forms should a parent file for a child who is over 21? Is that what you're asking me? Well, the question or the answer would depend on what country you are in. If you're in the United States, you'll be going through the entire adjustment of status process. You can Google it and get on USCIS and figure out what the requirements are. If you are outside the country, the process will also be different. Keep in mind, though, that if you are in the United States and you're over 21 and your parent is filing for you, you will not be eligible to adjust your status. unless you are in status at the time your visa is available. Right now, for visas for 21 years and older, the wait time is 6 years. So there won't be any visa available for at least 6 years. Uh, okay, so let's see what other questions. Alvin, good morning from Washington, D.C. Um, Somebody says, can you travel after the N400 interview? Yes. The N400 interview is your citizenship interview. And a lot of people are somehow confused or somehow believe that if they get denied for citizenship, that automatically they don't have a green card. That's not the case. You can have your citizenship pending, or you can be denied for a green card for citizenship, but it doesn't mean that your green card has been terminated. Just the immigration judge can terminate your green card. So while your case is pending, you will still be eligible to travel just like a normal um, green card holder. Okay. All right. Let's see what else do I have here as far as questions. Good morning, Earl. A friend came here with the I-130 visa. What is an I-130 visa? Do you mean like he came here with a student visa, like an F1? He went to school for about 3 years, but was unable to meet up with his grade. Can he change to another school, or what else can he do to remain here? Well, if he's still in, the question is he still in school? Is he out of status? Because he's not going to be able to get another F1 visa if he's out of status. Keep in mind, I don't handle student visas, but if he's out of status, he will not be able to get a new one without having left the country. And it will depend on how much unlawful presence is accrued. If he's still in status, what he can do is he can file for a change of status to a B1, B2, which is a visitor's visa, while he tries to get into school. And then once that converts, then he can get his F1 again. USCI sent me, so Mabe on Instagram says, USCI sent me an RFE in September. I didn't get it, so I wrote a letter to them to send another. I still haven't got it. Well, I don't know when you sent it. It will all depend on when you sent it. It will all depend on what kind of case you have, because there are different channels in which to request that. So if it's just a typical, I don't know what kind of case you have. So, if it's a case where you can call, you also want to call to see if they've reissued it. Okay. Earl says, so my question is this morning is, I applied for my green card and my work permit here in New York on November 15th. I went for biometrics. It was successful. So my question is, I want to know how it, oh, Earl, your question cut off. Are you trying to find out like when your work permit? So the answer will just depend, one, what type of green card petition are you petitioning for? Right now, we're seeing wait times of anywhere from 5 to 10 months for folks to get their work permit. So, if you are still within that window, you're still within processing time. Once you come out of the window based on your service center, then you can do an inquiry to find out why. But you just did your biometrics just like 2.5 weeks ago. So, or is that 3 weeks? So you still have time before it comes. Okay, let's see what else here I have. Alvin says, what if after the oath, will your green card be taken and can you still travel? If you've taken the oath, then that means you're a U.S. citizen. And at that point, you're free to do whatever you want to do. If you want to travel to another country and live there for 10 years and come back, you can definitely do that. But after an oath ceremony, you become a U.S. citizen and you're entitled to all laws of the United States like any other citizen. Alamede says, good morning, good morning. Sharon says, good morning. My RFA has not been resent since I missed the one they sent due to incorrect address. How can you help me? I don't have an attorney. You're going to need an attorney on file. You're going to need an attorney on file to go through the file hotline. You're not going to be able to do that by yourself. So you can call my office, 407-995-6567. Adekunle says, greetings to my own brother, Chinedu. I will let him know that you said hi. For those of you wondering, that's my husband. Phenomenally ambitious. Good morning. Um, Lucius says USCI has terminated the green card, but the immigration judge terminated the removal proceeding. Um, that's too vague. So I don't know what's going on with your case. I'll need a little bit more. I don't even know what question you're asking me. Hey, Chochi, thank you for joining. I have an interview coming up. My husband was unable to get a joint bank account with me because of some issues he had years ago. Will that affect me? So a bank statement alone is not going to affect you if you don't have one, but you're going to have to be prepared to explain why you guys don't have a bank account together. And you're going to have some other strong bona fides to show that you still have a legitimate marriage, even though your husband cannot open a bank account. I mean, some people have, like overdraft things that cause them not to be able to open a new bank account for like years. So if that's one of the situation, both of you have to be very clear in articulating that that's the situation, and you have to have other things to show that your marriage is real. Earl said, my visa. Did you ask me a question before? I feel like you asked me a question before. Hi, Vaughn. Let's see who else. Earl, I have to scroll back. Let me see. Oh my goodness, I can't scroll back. Guys, when you ask me questions, you have to give a complete question because the questions are coming so quickly on all the different platforms, so I might not find it. Um, okay, you have a K1, a K1. So Earl, you have a K1 visa, and you're asking me about your work permit. Um, well, I hope you've applied for your adjustment of status because work permits are taking a long time. You're not going to get a work permit for at least what I just said, 5 to 10 months. Um, so it doesn't matter what they say, whether they say we're actively reviewing your case. That's what they always say. Um, can someone on asylum take parole to travel to the UK? What do you mean parole to travel to the UK? Where parole from where? Where are you? And have you been granted asylum, or do you have an asylum case pending? Because those are two different things, and you don't get advanced parole with a pending asylum. So are you saying that you already have asylum? Your asylum has been approved. Um, Vaughn says, what's the wait time for I-485 and I-130 when filed together in Alabama? I don't know. I don't, believe it or not, I don't know every state's waiting and processing time. But you can go on USCIS processing case time, type in your service center, and it will tell you what the average time is. I will tell you that most field offices are taking about 12 months at the very minimum. Some people are lucky and it's done in like 9 months, 10 months, but you prepare yourself for 12 months. The only city that I've had where it took 2 months, which is an anomaly, that doesn't happen often, is Baltimore, the U.S. field office in Baltimore. That case took 2 months, 2 months or 3 months. So PD Solutions said the prima facie determination received 6 weeks after initial filing. Does that mean the approval will come sooner than expected days? No. Valid cases take, you know, 24 months to 2.5 years. The approval is now coming faster. Prima facie determination letters can come as early as 6 weeks to as late as 6 months, but it doesn't change their processing time. Again, most valid cases, and whenever I give you guys timelines, as I've said before, these timelines are just estimates based on where the majority of the people fall in. That being said, there will always be people that theirs come earlier, and there will always be people that theirs come later. Like the earliest VAWA approval that I've received, and it's the one and only, was 6 months. Most VAWA cases take 18 months at the very minimum for an approval. Okay. Um, um, If your spouse is not in the US, how do you show proof of relationship if you don't have a bank statement? Okay, so if you're doing what we call consular processing, a lot of times you're not going to have as much bona fides as somebody who lives in the United States. So one of the things that you can use to show proof of your relationship is if you're in a long distance relationship, meaning your spouse lives outside the country, they're expecting that you guys video chat, they're expecting that you guys text on WhatsApp or on, recently I learned people also do videos and chats on Instagram as well. Like, so whichever medium of communication that you communicate, you want to save those mediums of communicate, like screenshots of those. A lot of times the person in the US might send money to their significant other, outside of the country. So if you're using TransferWise, World Remit, Money Order, Western Union, save those receipts to show that you're sending money. Another good example is if you go visit that person and you stay in a hotel, getting proof of your trip, getting the itinerary of your hotel, where you lived. Another thing that I always do for my clients is I assist them in preparing just a statement, or a narration essentially of how they met, how they know each other, and basically documenting their relationship. Because a lot of times, if you don't have anything else, hopefully your testimony is good enough, um, and stuff. So, all right, guys, I have 1 more minute to go. Kashane says, my husband is a disabled vet. We have an upcoming interview. He has severe PTSD and anxiety. He's not remembering dates. Can anything be done? Well, you should get a lawyer to accompany you if you don't have a lawyer. Also, you should document your husband's condition and bring proof of that, why he cannot remember anything. If you, Kashane, are the person who is the immigrant, they will be on you. Anyway, every officer is different though, but you will need to answer a good number of the questions. Hopefully, they don't separate you guys. If they separate you guys, that's definitely going to be a problem. But he needs to have some sort of medical explanation of why he can't remember things, and stuff like that. But honestly, maybe he can also practice just like relaxation techniques, before, and just also remember that these officers are human beings, just like him, and even people who've been married for like years, they get nervous. Like, even though I'm an attorney, like sometimes when I go to those interviews, I just think some of those questions, like I won't even remember the answer, and I've been married for a long time. So he should understand, one, that it's not only him, and he should just try and remember the critical things. Critical things are like your birthday, when you guys got engaged, when you guys got married, his address, where you guys live, you know. If you have children, your children's birthdays or date of births. Even if he doesn't remember the year they were born, let him remember at least their name, and hopefully everything will work out for you guys. Okay, guys, I have to jump off. I am so sleepy today. I woke up so early for my interview this morning, and I am sleepy. I gotta go, guys, but I will be back on live tomorrow, sometime between 9 to 10 a.m. So tune in on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. And if I didn't get to your question, you can ask me your questions tomorrow. All right, guys, I hope you have a lovely Wednesday. Have a good one. Bye.